Hi Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to give you a more complete picture of how they speak to you and more importantly, which part of you I resonate with as a reader. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So before we start, your moon card, or rather should I say your key to the week card, is the moon. So this week, really reflective, right? Out of any of the weeks, especially given all of the craziness that's happening in the sign of Aquarius, which is 7 signs past Leo. So obviously, whether this is your sun, moon or ascendant sign, whatever happens in Aquarius is 7 signs past you. So this is, you know, when you look at that, if you were ever going to have that blast from the past, if you were ever going to hear from, you know, the old friend, the old lover, the old school friend, you know, all of that kind of stuff, if you were ever going to have that experience this year, I am putting my money on this week, especially because you have the moon card, which is always the past in some way, shape or form. And it could as well, this might be a week where something is revealed to you about what you truly are afraid of, what it is that you're really scared of, what it is that really you know, freaks you out at a really deep level. This could be you really kind of getting to the bottom of an old fear, maybe something around relationships. It's definitely a possibility. For your actions and options this is one of the reasons I love what I do, and it's one of the reasons I am constantly surprised by what I do. So we got a double hit of the moon card. Now, one way that this could play out, you may, this week could be, I mean, Leo's very intuitive anyway. I've always said that. Why? Because it's a big cat. Cats are very psychic beings. Now, the fact that you've got the moon card here, there's 2 ways that this could work out. One, the moment you have that intuition this week where you think, oh, you know, I haven't heard from so-and-so for so long, or I wonder what that person's doing. As soon as you have that thought, within hours, you know, maybe not necessarily even days, maybe just hours, you could end up hearing from that person. Maybe they run into you, maybe you know, maybe not necessarily bump into you, but maybe you hear from them, maybe you get a phone call or an email or a text message, or some news about them comes forward. Now, if you are considering taking a trip down memory lane, i.e. reaching out to an old friend, reaching out to an old partner, reaching out to, you know, anybody from your past, this would be a good week to do it, because it kind of suggests to me, because you've got a double hit at the moon card, it kind of feels like you're both doing this from different angles. So just consider that this week. For your communications and conversations, you've got the 9 of Swords. Speaking now, just for a moment, specifically to those of you that work nights, it looks like you need to get more rest. And the reason I say that, because the 9 of Swords coupled with the moon card can literally be people that work at night, people that are night workers, you know, whether this is stacking shelves or working in A&E, like, it's irrelevant, just people that work crazy hours or work through the night. Now, what this suggests to me is this week you could be overdoing it a little bit. You really need to watch out for your health. Get good sleep, get good rest, you know, do things for yourself that you know create that restful energy within you. Now, for those of you that do work for somebody else, you may be called upon for extra hours this week. It might be that it's maybe just kind of chucked on your plate and you don't really, it's like one of those moments of being force fed as a child because you refuse to eat your dinner. This could be that but with your work. Like, you might not have a choice to, you know, maybe you don't have the choice to, or the option to say no. Just be aware of that this week. And, you know, obviously keeping your own health buoyant is going to be really important for all of us, regardless. For your solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners, it looks like you are working late into the night this week, ciao. It just looks like you're doing a lot of work and maybe burning the candle at both ends. It's definitely possible, especially with this combination of cards. And then for your those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, again, this is how are you using your time, because it looks like you're hyping something up. Maybe you have too much time to think this week. If you are retired or not working, this would be a really good week to do something with your time, maybe to do something physical that stimulates the nervous system into calming down. So that, you know, yoga, tai chi, it's not possible at the moment because otherwise I would have said something like swimming, you know, things that really bring you down, things that really calm you down, things that take you out of that frenetic sort of state would be really good for you. And you know, it's different for everybody. Some people find rock music really calming, you know, like whatever it is for you. For your money and materials, you have the Three of Cups. So for those of you that are working jobs and out there still working and whatnot, this suggests to me that there is overtime. There is lots of money this week to be made. There is extra cash coming in. And it's really weird because I see this for those of you that work for yourselves, those of you that work for someone else. There's an influx of extra money this week, but it looks like you are going to be busy. And if I'm honest, I'm kind of feeling this at the moment already, at the time of filming this. And now that I've seen this, I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those weeks, huh? So just be aware of that and be prepared. The money is good. It's great, right? But it's one of those things like, you know, sometimes where you're earning really good money, but you're so busy you don't have the chance to enjoy it or spend it. This could be one of those weeks. For your physical health and vitality, this week you would you need to look after your lungs, especially anything to do with that, like anything to do with your lungs and your upper respiratory area. This you know, I always use every other day I will put some oregano oil in my tea. It works absolute wonders. It's a really, really good and very powerful way, natural way of defending yourself and helping yourself out in that regard. So check it out. I won't suggest any brands or whatever, but you know, always follow your instructions and yeah. And then for your come on brain, for your home and environment, I mean, look at this, right? You've got the Three of Cups right underneath the moon card. Now, one way that you can read that is literally a get together under the full moon. So for those of you that celebrate Esbats and Sabbats, etc., this could be something of that nature. For some of you, this could be inviting friends and stuff around the week after this. So whatever you're doing this week, maybe you're planning to meet up around the full moon, which would be next week from this video. And then yeah, I mean, your Three of Cups as well is reunions. And look at this, you know, so there does appear to be a reconnection or a reunion on the horizon for Leos in some regard. And some of you, it looks like you're maybe a little bit worried about this as well. It's like, oh, what's it going to be like you know, when I see that person again, or when I see these people again. But yeah, there's definitely reconnections on the horizon. And then you have the Five of Cups right underneath the Nine of Swords. That is not an easy combination, I have to say. And with the Moon card as well, if you have a family member, a friend, or even a partner that is either an addict or somebody that has taken a challenging path in life, you know, for any number of reasons, you know, it's not about judgment, I'm just calling it as I see it. This week you are going to hear of somebody going through the process of a relapse, and if you can be there on hand to assist or to help, this would be a week where you really need to do so. If you know, just keep that in mind. This week it's very, very possible, and I just want you to be aware of this so that if it comes up, you are already prepared. For those of you that are single, like I said, you could be reconnecting with somebody from your past this week. It's kind of like one of those moments, you know, where you seek solace in a place that may not necessarily be the best for you, like, you know, and it's, you know, it's definitely possible for those of you that are partnered or in relationships. Again, maybe this is a family member or, you know, a sibling, or it just looks like somebody that has walked a bit of a dodgy path, let's say. It looks like they may be treading old ground again, and in some way, shape or form you're going to have to either be there as a support, or you may end up footing the bill in some regard. And, you know, it's not nice to be that person, it's not nice to have to do that, but where, you know, where you can assist and to help, if as long as it's not detrimental to you and your health, this week you should really consider that. All right, so with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have as conscious a week as you possibly can, and just be aware that whatever comes knocking from the past, you have a choice, right? You have a choice. And not only that, if you're knocking on a door from the past and it opens, just let me put it to you this way. If you're knocking on a door from your past, ask yourself what you're going to do before it opens. So before you knock, ask yourself what you're going to do if that door opens. Because sometimes, you know, we open a door, and once it's opened, it's really hard to close it again. Just be aware of that. All right. With that said, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.